Welcome back to another episode of Look What Jess Found. This is episode 809. And if you didn't see yesterday's episode, I thought it was pretty good. If you like, I got a little personal in it towards the end. And, my wife doesn't like when I try not to. I get a little bit more personal in my members only videos, which I know I haven't done in a couple of weeks. I have to get to it. Um, I think I have like 60 members only videos, which is a lot, I think. But anyway, but usually not so much in my penny roll hunts. But I did yesterday. If you're for some people, I know I like when people talk. I love seeing behind the curtain and hearing about what makes people tick. It's probably one of the reasons I became a social worker. It fascinates me, intrigues me. So if you're that type of person, you can. Wow, look at all this copper, man. Wowzers. It's got to be at least 10 in here, man. It has to be 10 in here. I'm telling you. It's got to be 10 copper pennies in here. If there's not, I'm going to be surprised. So if you're into that, if you want to hear me, I get a little bit into some stuff, and you could just I don't know if I'm going to have it at the end of this video or not, but you could just type when I say 808, type 808 into the channel search bar, and it should come right up. And we should start. This is not copper. This is one of my thought was copper. It's a 30 zinc. No, the next one I think is copper. This looks like copper. This got to be copper. 73. Yeah. Okay. All right. I remember. I'll never forget. I got traumatized by dirty copper by that one video where I was like, "Oh, it's got to be. Look at all this copper," and it ended up being zero. Okay, or maybe the last penny was copper, something like that. I'm gonna throw this one out. This one was really too dirty. Yeah, I can't keep these because one day I'm gonna sell my penny rolls, and I just can't do it, man. I can't throw that one out too. I won't feel right. Or not, I mean, if this is a look at that. If this is a close AM, can't even see it. Goodbye. I wouldn't want to get pennies like this if I paid $2 or $3 or $4 for. So it's looks like it might be a little bit of a short video. We'll see. People like short videos anyway. I think yesterday's video was like over a half hour ish. Man, I mean, the thing is, anyway. So today's topic is I wrote it down a sticky note during the video yesterday. I said, let me write down why I had this thought about a topic for tomorrow's video, and today's topic is my progression in learning about coin errors. Like you just saw the penny before. I said, oh, 1992. Man, penny roll hunting and coin collecting as a hobby you could be a super novice and just collect very uh superficially. Oh, I like these pennies, I buy those pennies. I like wheat cents, I buy wheat cents. Whatever. I search for this, I search for that, I search for wheat cents, I search for copper. But if you want to learn about coin errors to enhance your penny roll hunting experience, well, that's going to take years, my friend, and that takes a long time. I remember uh, if my first member ever, Eric from Kenai Collectibles, if he's watching this video, he's gonna laugh because 1995 has a double die. I always look for it now. Of course, I never found one, but I always keep an eye out for it. Lesser known variety. So he would. When I first started off, I knew nothing, man. Nothing. When I tell you zero, I mean nothing. I knew nothing. And he would say, "Hey, that's this," and he guided me along. He said, "Oh no, that's not that. That's this." He corrected me like I would do videos, and I would say stuff. He would say, "No, that's wrong," and he showed me websites to go to, Konica, coppercoins.com, and I would go and I learned. Forget about it, man. It was so crazy, my initial experience, and I had someone to help me. And I kind of see, I want to pass that along to others, And That, is the main educational aspect of this channel. I like, of course, the most important thing in life is to have a relationship in Christ, right? To protect your eternal soul. But people have hobbies, and that's fine, and jobs, and, investments and stuff like that. And I think that's okay. Look at this beauty. Look at this beauty, man. As long as you don't put those things in front of others, right? Christ's number one message was to love your neighbor. So as long as you don't put your right, the golden rule, right? You don't put your needs in front of someone else's. That's fine. And I'm not going to get too much into that, but that's what I think is okay. And I think Christ would say the same thing. That's okay as long as everyone has to have a life and activities, and we're human. Um, so Eric, my first member, helped me out a lot, man, a lot. I mean, I 1992, we're looking for the close AM. That's a wide AM. For example, the 1992, I didn't even add. So I added, right? He showed me things, and then I started looking for those things, and those things led me to learning about other things. So the wide AM, right? The 1988, 99, and 2000 wide AM was the first type of errors I ever learned about, right? Lesser known varieties. The 1992, I didn't learn about the 1992. I could have found, for all I know, in the first year of penny roll hunting, I had 1992 close AMs. I didn't even know, because I didn't even start looking for the close AM until, I mean, I could type 1992 close AM, and it'll come up on my videos, like when the first video is that I did talk about it, but probably not like a year ago. You know what I'm saying? And that's how it works. That's how learning about coin errors. Oh, 2009. Yeah, nice. That's how learning about coin errors works. You put your time into it, right? Especially if you're interested and you have a enthusiasm. That's got to be dirt, right? Yeah, that's got to be dirt. That's not like peeling or anything like that. I don't think so. That's copper penny number. Is this copper number 6? If you want to include the 82. And here goes number 7. I told you we're gonna have at least 10, man. I told you. Look at that S. Almost look like a 5. Make sure we don't have any extra thickness. I don't know. This is a close one. I'm gonna have to look at that trust under the loop. I don't think so. I don't think it's extra thickness. I think it's just an odd, just deteriorated dye is what they call it. The dye gets a little deteriorated, and it, right, if you lose a little bit of metal inside the channel that makes the letter, then the letter is going to become bigger, and that's what'll confuse you between a deteriorated dye, fatter letter, and a extra thickness double dye error, right? So yeah, deteriorated dye, it's not an error per se. I know I said error. I didn't mean to say that. It's just something that happens over the course, right? You see and Eric taught me this too. I used to be like, "Oh, look at that! Look, the letters are melted into the rim." No, it's the rim is becoming worn. It's a worn out dye. That the 68 specifically, they used their dyes. They overused them, and to the point where the rim and the letters became melted into each other. But that's because of they should have gotten rid. They should have swapped out that dye, and they were being lazy and they didn't do it. And as a result, we got tons and tons of 68s. Oh, we got a 60D. Look at this. We got a variety. Wow, man. Bam, 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 bam. Wow, man. Crazy, crazy, great. So we are up to 10 copper pennies. We found our 10 already, and I think we got like another 5 here. I think we got like another 5 or 6 copper pennies there. Here goes copper penny number 11, 1971. Look how thin the letters are. You see and the God, see how thin they are? That's over polishing. There was a die clash here at one time, or some sort of error that they need to. Let's look at the reverse. See if there's a die clash inside of the Lincoln Memorial. There is not any polishing lines on the reverse. Also not. Wait, hold on. Look at the building. I don't know. I don't think so. Look at the nose. Yeah, I'm telling you, there was something up with this. That's over polished. Could it be grease in the channel? That it could be grease also. I don't think so though. Grease. I think that's over polishing. Oh, look at the letters on Liberty. Look at that B and E. Let me look at that under the loop. That looks pretty. Oh wow. Oh, that B is great, man. All right, let me go to Copper Coins real quick and look for the 1971. See if they got a double die. 1971. Go to the. I bookmarked the date page for Copper Coins. They do not have any. Oh, I have to click 1P1DO. Oh, this is the real double die. Okay, I don't have that. I do not have this. That's extra. That's true extra thickness. Okay. Oh, that's really a double die. I mean, they're both double die. That's a strong spread. It says it right there. A strong spread. All right. All right. That's a moderate spread, which we also don't have. That's a light counterclockwise spread. That's what it says. CCW, counterclockwise spread. Okay. Now, to me, this is extra thickness. This is what extra thickness looks like. Okay. He does not call it that. He calls it a spread. But this is what extra thickness is when it's in. It looks. You have to. Anyway, that's what extra thickness looks like. Oh, let's see if we got the little blips. And one more on the 7. I thought the 7 was a little funny. We'll check the 7 for these little bar. That's a bar, and he calls it here a bar, horizontal bar on top of the 7. Extra thickness again. He calls it doubling. That you call it doubling. Okay, let's look at the top of the 7. Even from this distance, it doesn't look like there's anything there. Oh, no way. No way. That's got to be dirt. Oh, shoot. Look at this. We got, it's the cheap one. We got this one with the little extra line on the left. It is a double. We found a double die. And this is when I will whip out my handheld microscope. We found a double die. Let's go a little closer. Let's get a little closer, then a little closer with a big red, that big fresh feeling that you do it. Dun 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 dun. Go a little closer to the penny when you can. Look for the double die. Oh man, it needs to be a little brighter. And we're looking for the 7. On the left of the 7, I saw separation. Come on, screwer. Where are you? Seriously, you gonna mess with me now? There it goes. You see it? There you go. All right, I'm gonna leave it right there. It's too bright. There's no in between, man. There's this bright and this dark. My wife bought me another one. I have to, but right on the left of the 7, even on the front of the 7, looks like you can see Dublin, right? Look at the 9. How about the top? You can't see if there's a bar on the top or not. And look at the side of the 1. Look at that. Nice. I think this is the double die. Now, how much is it worth? Now, it's funny that we're talking about coin errors and my progression of learning about coin errors and the use of copper coins. And here we found our first double die today. Well, I haven't found a double die in weeks and weeks and weeks. And it really was because of the B. It was that B and E. I was like, that looks like possibly doubling. And that's what led me to copper coins. And copper coins is what led me to check out. And it looks like it might have the little bar above the 7 there. I'm going to take my shirt and I'm going to clean the top of the 7 real quick. Yeah, I think it's the double. How much is it worth? It's in low AU. I think could be an AU 50 to AU $57. Anyway, I likes it a lot. And that's like copper penny, what, number 10, 11? Tremendous penny roll. So this is what you want. You want to be able to critically analyze each and every one of your pennies. Specifically the copper pennies, right? The copper pennies have more errors than, it goes to 69. Then, let's see, we got the floating roof, no floating roof. Have more errors than the zinc cents, right? The zinc cents, the more modern pennies have higher quality controls and there's just less errors on them. So learning how to critically analyze and scrutinize your copper pennies, which of course it leads into, that's a beauty. Too bad about that. Looks like rust, right? By the way, rust is a type of error because there's no steel in copper and copper doesn't rust. So if you see rust on a copper penny, I mean, it could be something else. Maybe I'm wrong about it being rust. You know what I'm saying? But a rusted copper penny is also an error because that means a little bit of steel fell into the mixture. Look at that. Look at those polishing lines. Tremendous. Oh, and there you go. You can see all the die clashing inside. So there was a head there. Lincoln's head was up here at one time. They polished it off. They couldn't get in between the columns. They tried to get in between the columns. That's why it looks all mushy. And let's see if they left anything in the front. Oh, there we go. Whoa, man. What a great penny roll hunt, man. And this is what I'm talking about. You understand? You see how I diagnosed that? You understand? I'm doing my social work DSM-5 diagnostics on my pennies now. You saw how I found that? Did you see that? Strong, baby. It's moderate. It's not strong. That's a moderate die clash on the front. Hardly ever find these. This is a $10 penny, maybe more because of it's in good condition, man. It's look, you can see it. Oh, tremendo. $10, $15 penny. Tremendo. I'm going to put them on top of each other, that one, the other one, so I know they're both errors. Tremendo penny roll hunt, man. Tremendo. This is what I'm talking about. Rob finds treasure is not finding that. Do you understand? He separates copper from zinc, and then he separates wheats from memorials. That's it. And then he has his placemat where obviously he checks the 55. You don't even have to, anyway, I'm not going to get all into that. You're not going to learn how to penny roll hunt through these other people. I like their channels. They're great for entertainment. But if you're spending $100, and we got a 2017P, if you're spending $100 or more on a box now of pennies, You better know what you're doing, man, because this is going to fast by 2027, 2028. This is going to become a very expensive hobby that was something that only nerds did before. Okay, no close AM. This would have been $100 penny. Right? That's another error that I learned. I started talking about that at the beginning. The die clashes, learning about die clashes. Eric again, Eric from Keen Eye Collectibles. He taught me. He taught me about, and I hope you start doing videos again, Eric. I watched every one of your videos, Eric. I was always there. You know that. And if you start doing videos again, I'm gonna be there again for you, man. And I'm gonna shout you out, and I'm gonna blast you off on my channel. Okay, you were always there for me. I I thank you for all the assistance you gave me, man. The Lord really sent you to this channel. Thank you. 98, we're looking for the wide AM, no wide AM. That's the one that I found the other day. It's the 99, that's the expensive one. I just learned that out of all the years of learning about wide AMs, I just committed to my memory a few episodes ago when I found the 98 wide AM. Another thing Eric taught me, that the 99 is the one that's worth like $100, 50 to $100. The other ones are worth like 5, 10, $15, depending on condition. And I just hope to pass this on to other people, you know. That's all. You know, obviously I could keep talking about Christ and the importance of that. But as far as a hobby goes, you know, there's so many people are just sending pennies back to the bank or passing over valuable coins because these other channels, they're lazy. You know what I mean? They're not going to spend their time. It's too learning is too difficult, right? And in a society where we don't value education anymore, you know, meanwhile, what then we wonder why AI is taking over everything, right? Because the computer, when the machine becomes smarter than when the creation becomes smarter than the creator, we got a problem, man. Okay, we got a serious problem. That's our second 82. And this country is sick, and the sickness is lack of education. Drug addicts. If we educated our children, we don't want to. The government doesn't want to educate our kids about drugs and alcohol and addiction. Why? Because the government is being lobbied by big pharmaceutical, which they love drug addicts and alcoholics and addicts so that they could sell them friggin' medication. So we're never gonna get that in our schools. Okay? And that's a friggin' problem, man. You know? And this is from a very small perspective when we're talking about pennies. But man, people don't even want to learn about pennies, man. So how are you going to learn about something so complicated, psychological, like addiction? It pisses me off, man. It pisses me off. Get the people like that's Rob or Steve Rowe from the sewer guy, the garbage guy, dirty jobs. Yeah, you don't need education. Screw you, man. That guy's a piece of garbage. Okay, he might seem like a nice guy. Anyone that's telling a now then Trump comes on and says, "Yeah, no, we got to get foreigners here because no, we can't do that job. We're too friggin' stupid to do it." You know what I mean? And that pisses me off, man. Look at this. Is that interesting? How cool is that? You know, it pisses me off. You know, they don't even do script anymore, man. Yo, script the whole everything in history, right? You're talking about people who didn't have electricity, man. Were writing script, and now it's like, nah, they just want us to be slugs. Be a slug. Don't learn nothing. Well, you know what? If I could make the slightest dent in this world, by at least getting people interested in pennies and educating themselves and learning how to read, man, right? Because you have to read. If you're gonna go to these let me tell you something. Go to a numismatic channel. You want to talk about people who are educated? At least, I mean, it could be you could be self-educated is fine, but educate yourself, man. If you have a problem, let me tell you something. My parents didn't sit down with me and do my homework with me. Okay, I was semi-illiterate all the way through college. Okay, that they have to accept you. Back then they had to accept you into your community college, and I got accepted into my community college, and I almost flunked out because I was basically semi-illiterate. Okay, my father was drunk and said, "How much is that?" And I said, "That's a." I said, 5 + 6, that's 11. He smacked me in the back of the head, and he said, "It's not 11. Do it again." I did it again. I said, and I started crying. I said, "This is the world this is the world I grew up in, you know, and that's ignorance, man. That's ignorance." And now they're telling you don't need an education. BS, man. BS. You need an education. And I know maybe nobody cares. No one's gonna listen to me, or man, that looks like a strike through. Or they're gonna say, I thought this channel was about pennies. It is about pennies, and you got to be. And if you want to learn about pennies, you better know how to read. You better have good reading comprehension. I'm gonna go to one of. Pause for a second. In every single one of my videos, now this is my view, right? This is where I can edit, so you're not gonna see the link where you can click it. So I'm gonna have to. So let's go to. This is in every single one of my videos. Let's go to. Uh let's go to Konica. Konica is a pretty popular. Let's go to Konica, right? This is in every single one of my. Eric showed me this. Eric from Kenai Collectibles. He showed me this. All right. All right. All right. Let's just look at the first long definition of a term. Okay. Abrasion doubling. Now, and I'm going to tell you what I think that means. Abrasion doubling, if I remember correctly, is something um, has something to do with the coin being rubbed, right, abraded by something else. So it must not be a true double die. It must be a form of I don't know. It must be some other type of error, but not a double die. All right, that's all I can think of right now. And let's see what it says. Abrasion doubling. These coins were struck from dies that had been heavily abraded. Oh, that's from the polishing. Abraded is from the polishing from when the coin had, like, remember the die clash we found before? And I was like, oh, look at those polishing lines. I believe that's abrading. Okay. These coins were struck from dies that were heavily abraded. The abrasion could have occurred inside the cavities of the design, including letters and digits. Such coins appear to have overlapping and doubled design elements. The abrasion could have occurred on the outside edges of the design, including letters and digits. The doubling is most commonly seen between the letters or digits and the rim. The best examples are the poor man's double dies of the 1955. These coins are not the product of hub doubling, which is what a true double die is. Okay, so that's what I said, that they're not true double dies. So this confirmed, like, I remember that. I've read this before so many times that I've learned something. The abrasion doubling is a very common occurrence, especially on recent coinage. Thus, it has little collector interest or value because it's not a true error. Also see double die deterioration, which I use that term all the time, double die deterioration, DDD. Okay? But you have to have good reading comprehension. Let me tell you something. Up until I was about 26 years old, that's when I went back to college and started to do traditional learning English, math. Right before that, I wouldn't have been able to comprehend this. Okay, I would have had to read this. Maybe I would have, but I would have had difficulty. I would have struggled with this. Now I read this and I understand it clear as day because I have an education. and because I practiced, and I practiced a lot, right? So it's important. And that was the main theme of today's episode was, if you just want to be entertained, if you just want to be on your phone and you just want to flip around and you want to be a slug, then it's okay. You know, Rob finds treasures, and one roll, one coin, one roll at a time, right? I mean, Rob finds treasure. I watched his video the other day. It was great. So much fun. Yo, he has 4 boxes of coins, and in 8 minutes, he goes through 4 boxes of coins. That would have taken me like 6 months on this channel. Why? Because I guarantee you in those 4 boxes of coins, there were errors he didn't find, but he doesn't care. You understand? He doesn't care if you learn about what I'm trying to teach you here, right? He's not trying to support you becoming educated. I am. It doesn't make him bad. He's entertaining. But I want you to be informed. I want you to learn. And that was the point of today's episode. I know I came across a little strong, and it's because I feel strongly about it. And this is the last penny, another tremendous penny roll hunt today. Do we have a repunch? Repunch mint marks I didn't know about. That's one of the few things I knew about prior to, for whatever reason. I didn't even, oh, wow. This might be a repunch mint mark. What a crazy, crazy penny roll hunt, man. This might be a repunch mint mark. Let me look at the 70. Copper coins also has repunch mint marks. This is 75D. Let's go back to the date guide. Let's go to 1975. 1975D-1MM. That's the mint mark. And there you go. It's pretty slight. I think this is the one we got. AU condition $7. This is a little stronger. I don't think we have that one. I don't think we have that. I think we have the one. I saw a little bit of separation here on the bottom. So it would be the first. It would be this one. It would be this one. So I'm going to put it under the microscope, and we'll see if we see it. Again, the bottom, the south. There it goes. I told you. Let's go a little closer. Does look kind of dark. Here's the date. There it goes. Yeah, there we go. Oh, it has it in the top too. So I think it's a repunch bit mark. Yeah, I could zoom out a little. You know what? Let me do it right there. Take a picture of that. Zoom out just a little bit. Do another picture of it. For the maybe for the thumb. Might use it for the thumbnail. All right. I have to charge this thing. So that's 3 errors we found today, most likely. The repunch mint mark, the double die, and the 2 double dies. Oh, and the what's that called? The die clash. Tremendous. Look at all this copper. 20 copper pennies. Tremendous amount of copper. Great penny roll hunt. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget, Jesus loves you. And I'll see you in the next one.